morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day it is for you. This is the Den, episode number 20, our pregame covers versus the Arizona Cardinals. My name is Steve, aka Bronx, and once again joined
by Dingers, aka Chris. Oh wait, it's Chris, aka Dingers.
How was your day, Chris?
Hey, it's fantastic. Still playing that Black Ops 6. Uh, you know, just again, whatever it takes to pass the time for Bears football. We said it last week, but after a heartbreaker, we want to get that out of the head already.
You have to. You have to move on. You have to forget about it as hard as it's going to be. We got to move on from it. And there's still a lot of football left to be played. But the importance of this week, this is Caleb versus Kyler this week. This is a high-powered offense. I think they're like sitting in 12th right now in offense. The Cardinals are going against the number 11 ranked defense in the league. But how does Caleb bounce back this week? And can Kyler Murray continue to build upon the chemistry that he's building? Or I just said that. Continue to build upon the chemistry he has now with Marvin Harrison Jr. That's the importance of the week. That's what we're going to talk about. But moving on, our very first segment, our key matchups to watch, our quarterbacks, the Chicago Bears quarterback versus the Arizona Cardinals quarterback, Caleb Williams. Can Caleb bounce back from an L in a game that we should have won, right? In a game that on back to back drives in the fourth quarter, in crunch time, he leads the team down the field, right? He had been playing terrible the first three quarters of the game, but come crunch time, come the fourth quarter, when the Bears need him the most, he shows up. Obviously, that handoff, people want to criticize Caleb for a handoff. It was too high. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. If it's any other person that's supposed to have the ball other than Doug Creamer Jr., it's not a damn fumble. Roshan is 100% 100 inside 5 yards in the end zone, or inside the 5 yard line, leading to a touchdown. He was in the game. Hand him the ball. He did it the very next drive, right? He scores the touchdown, but
I'm I'm gonna cut you off right there, Bronx. I remember texting you about that. I mean, if you go back to episode 19, for those who did not listen, first of all, come on now. Second of all, that was my player of the game. I told you guys that I felt like Roshan Johnson was going to be the difference maker, and surely he was, but unfortunately, not in the way that we would have expected because he didn't get the ball. Enough of this being cute. It never really works out. Let's be honest. Let's win football games. That's not winning football. So that goes on the coaching. I don't know if you saw Caleb Williams' dad's tweet, but uh, it, it's it's coaching. I like Eberflus as a person. I thought he was making some strides, but you just can't make those mistakes at the NFL level.
no, 100%. And we've said it before. We've said it again. His challenges are questionable, and his timeout usage is terrible. How the hell do we leave the three timeouts on the board to end the game? Like, call a timeout at any point in that final series. Like, you could have called. Obviously, you're not going to call a timeout after they throw the ball across the middle, but it's like the play before the Hail Mary. Call a timeout before that play. Or the Washington didn't Washington call a timeout before that play?
I
No,
don't
they
think
called
they did.
after that play. Call a timeout before that play. I think there was like an out pass, or even call a timeout before the Hail Mary happens, just so that they know who the hell has who.
I mean,
Um,
it's just like it's basic football. I mean, if you want to touch on that horrendous lucky play, we can very briefly. If Tyreek Stevenson just literally taunts the crowd the entire play, the Bears win that game. If, if Tyreek Stevenson, volleyball spikes it, it's pretty cool. Um, they did everything they possibly could to lose that game, and that's what frustrates me. It's like that would have been a very big win to continue the momentum. Every little bit of momentum the Bears built seemed to have been deflated right in that moment. But that's why I'm so excited for it tomorrow, because it's like, let's see how these boys answer back. Because again,
Mhm,
I feel like some teams need adv-
you're right.
adversity like this,
Mhm,
and it just shows how if they can rally behind one another, they're gonna have tons of backlash. I'm sure the minute they picked up their phones, they saw it, they heard about it, they've talked about it in the locker room. Caleb audibly pissed off on the sideline, and rightfully so. You march your team downfield in what should have been a win, and then it just gets taken right out of your hands. So I'm excited for that. You got to take the good with the bad.
mhm. Yeah, you want to talk a little bit about Kyler?
Yeah, so Kyler Murray, he has over 1,600 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He's playing good ball. He's won two of his last three. So, they're riding a little bit of a hot streak. But again, Bears defense, it's been consistent all year round for the most part. So I feel like that's what the falling back. You have to fall back on the Bears defense. They have to, keep their trends going, and if they can do that, I feel very confident about this one. So I'm excited for the defense. But again, you gotta stop Kyler. It starts at the quarterback position.
Yep, it does.
All right, now let's jump into the Bears offensive line versus that Cardinals defensive line. The O line did not play great at all last week, but when the time was needed, crunch time, they were able to give Caleb just enough to get down two crucial drives. I mean, the Cardinals defensive line is not great. They're ranked 27th in the league. So, the Bears should be able to make do with what they have and take control of the game. So,
Yeah, yeah, and
anything
then
you got to say about that, Bronx?
no, like you said, they did not play great last week, but in the fourth quarter, that's like you said, crunch time. They gave Caleb, they set him up pretty well to lead that team down for those two crucial drives because obviously you fumble, then you get the ball back. Does Caleb respond? And he responded well, and with the help of that O line, let him down and punched the ball in with Roshan, which they should have did the first time. But moving on, the Cardinals O line versus the Bears D line. Look, our D line did not play up to our standards, right? We're used to getting pressures. I know they got to Jaden Daniels a few times. I'm not sure. Did maybe two sacks? I didn't even check the numbers to be
I'll
honest. I
look
was,
that up while you keep going.
but yeah, we didn't. We allowed Daniels to escape and make plays with his feet. Something Kyler Murray is known for, right? That's what Kyler does: extend plays, use his legs, run the ball, throw on the run. So hopefully they've learned their lesson and made some adjustments to keep Kyler contained. Obviously Kyler's elusive. He's going to get out of the pocket um, a few times, but if we can get to him pretty quickly, hopefully this D line. I know Montez is questionable, and that'll be a huge loss if he's not on the field. Um, but hopefully they can find a way to keep Kyler in the pocket.
And just to follow up with that, it was two sacks. So
That's
they got to him a couple times, but again, it's the Bears defense. They got to get to people. It's kind
Mhm,
of uh, the pressures are what's going to make the mistakes happen.
mhm.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But
Yep. Moving on to our next segment, our game plan and strategy, the Chicago Bears strategy, the offensive game plan. We need to get the offense and specifically Caleb in a rhythm early. I'm tired of seeing this team seemingly just throw away drives, especially early in the game. Right. Like I don't think they've gotten a first down on an opening drive in any game this year. I think they've gone three and out literally in every single opening drive. The teams are like, yeah, we'll defer every time. Or you know, um, obviously you can't say when you win the coin toss, kick the ball off because then you're kicking it off twice. But they're going to be happy to defer, knowing that this team goes three and out week in and week out in the first half. Tired of seeing them do that in the first half, and then it takes a little bit of time when their back's sort of against the wall to finally like get going. Look, this is the 27th ranked defense in the league. The Cardinals have. They're 26th in both passing and running yardage. So we can run the ball. We've proven that fact. We ran against the Commanders. We've run pretty well for like the last 3 weeks. get the run game going, get Caleb comfortable, and get him in a rhythm. That has to be our offensive strategy moving forward. Um, you want to talk about the defensive game plan?
Yeah, I got you. Let's be simple. Let's make it simple again. Just slow down Kyler Murray. He's been playing well. They're coming off, like I said, a 2-game win streak. So let's just keep him in the pocket. Let's limit his touches that he gets to Marvin Harrison Jr. Jalen Johnson's got to lock him down the entire game,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm confident that he will do. Uh, that's why you give him those big contracts, is so he can take down wide receivers like that. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to have him trail him all game long, and I feel like that's going to be a very big thing to watch, because if you let MHJ get open, you're walking on tightrope to danger. So yeah, just gotta control Kyler Murray.
100%, 100%. And also, just to sort of add to that, the Cardinals are coming into the game, they're second in the NFL in third down conversion percentage. So if we can find a way to shut them down on third downs, that'll be huge moving forward throughout the entire game, because the faster we can get the Bears off the field, the better for the defense, right? We don't need to see them out there for 45 minutes in a game, because that means that our offense is A, struggling, and B, these guys are going to get worn out, because MHJ and Kyler are a budding, what do you say, tandem. So if we could, like you said, limit MHJ's touches, it'll be better for the Bears, because I don't, is what's his name? Is James Conner still the running back?
Yeah,
I don't think he's having that great of a year either, is he?
I'm not completely sure. I think he's having a relatively decent year, because I know he destroys me in fantasy about every time I play him. But so, aside from that, I don't know too much about James Conner. But what I do know is Cardinal strategy and what they're going to do. So let's
Mhm.
get into a little bit about their offensive game plan. I mean, they're going to try to, you know, use Kyler Murray's mobility. So you got to, that's what they're going to be looking to do, I think. So again, from a Bears perspective, you got to watch that. Um, he's going to try to get outside the pocket. He's going to run around, scramble, do all those things, and then he's going to try to get MHJ the ball. He's their obviously by far their biggest weapon.
Mhm.
So they're just going to try to use that first round pick. They're going to try to use Kyler's legs. I mean, again, Kyler is a dynamic talent. He could do crazy things when you let him. So don't let him do them. Easier said than done. So I want to touch on the defensive side of the ball.
Sure. So, in order for this struggling Cardinals defense to have any sort of success against the Bears, it seems to be the game plan week in and week out. We say it week in and week out, but there seems to be some truth to it, right? They've got to find a way to pressure Caleb, um, and they also have to find a way to slow down Swift in our rushing attack. I mean, obviously, that's both. That's the key to to success against the Bears. If you can, the more the ball is in Caleb's hand and he's chucking it, the more likely there are going to be mistakes made, especially from a rookie. This is not Aaron Rodgers back there, a seasoned vet, where if you throw him 52 times in a game, Rodgers is going to complete a lot of those passes and tear you up. This is Caleb Williams, a rookie in his first NFL go. Like, the more times the ball is in his hand, the worse it is going to be for the Bears. Is he going to make some plays? Yes. But is he going to make some mistakes? Yes. That's why he's a rookie. That's why we need to sort of, taper down our expectations as far as Caleb's not a savior. He's not going to come in here and just throw for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns
Yet,
each and every game. I mean, he threw the ball 52 times and barely touched over 300. So we can settle down just a little bit.
can
But
I
yeah,
interrupt you real quick?
sure.
I mean, and that's another story to watch, is how Caleb's deep ball really hasn't progressed much yet. Again, and you could touch that on coaching as well, because it's not even really close, and I hate to say that.
Hmm.
So I wonder why they haven't really tried to correct those things, and if they've have and he just hasn't been. That's very concerning in my eyes.
Hmm.
So I think it's something to watch for sure. Now, me saying that, he's probably going to throw for 400 tomorrow, but I mean, I'm just interested to see how that develops throughout the rest of the course of the season. So it's just a little to get off track a little bit, but.
No, no, that's a really good point. I mean, it's a valid point that he has clearly struggled. I think he has the lowest completion percentage of any quarterback with balls over 15 yards. And this is a bad defense. Why not try and stretch him? And if he misses, he misses. You're not really too worried about it if he misses against his team, knowing that you can still be successful against them in the very next play.
Yep.
Take shots. Take some shots against team. I mean, you have an aging Buda Baker back there. I don't even know who the hell their other defense of or who their other safety is. But Buda's aging, and I think he's on the trademark or on the trading block. So maybe he's playing for a change of scenery. Maybe he wants to stay there. Who cares? I don't really care. Let's light him up. But yeah, moving on to our players to watch. This is my favorite segment, week in and week out. I'm going to start with my offensive, then I'll ask yours. Mine is Keenan Allen. I'm looking for him to have a week like he did against Jacksonville, right? He's going to be a reliable target for Caleb, especially against a struggling Cardinals defense. He's clearly one of the best route runners in the league, and against a defense that he's going to, I mean, they're a bad secondary to begin with, and Keenan's usually in the slot. So you're going to be lined up against their worst, theoretically their worst corner. He should beat him every time. He should be open, and Caleb needs to look for him. Uh, there are going to be opportunities for Rome. There are going to be opportunities for DJ. Hopefully this week, not in some stupid screen game, but going deep. So look, I would obviously look for Keenan Allen somewhere across the middle. Um, and yeah, that's my player to watch on offense. Who's yours?
Cole Komet, case closed. I mean, in what was a bad offensive game for uh, most of the game, I mean, until the very end, yeah, I feel like the common denominator was the fact that Cole Komet got one touch, and that was in the fourth quarter.
Hmm.
I feel like they're going to have to utilize him more, and I feel like that's dang near a lock at this point because when you have that little offensive production without using your number one tight end, again, I feel like Eberflus is going to realize that, and I want to say he's on the hot stove. I mean, is that fair to say at this point? So
Oh,
I feel like he's going to have to use all of his weapons, and Cole Kmet is definitely one of his best weapons. And a lot of people think I'm crazy when I say that, but you look at the stuff he can do as a tight end, and it's kind of incredible to me. So I think he's going to have a big game. I could see him catching a touchdown pass or two. So yeah, I think it's Cole Kmet. So far on the pod, I'm 1 for 1 on player of the game. Let's be real here. Roshan should have gotten it if Doug Kramer never touches the ball, but we're not talking about that anymore. We forgot it's out of our head. So Bronx, let's do defensive player of the game, and this time I'll lead it off. And it's Jalen Johnson. So again, I feel like Kyler Murray, if the defense could do their job and keep him in the pocket, he'll make some long ball mistakes. I have him throwing a pick to Jalen Johnson. He's been, I think it's a very safe, like safe yet risky, as nonsensical as that sounds. I think I could see it happening. I just like the way how people fear throwing to Jalen Johnson, and there's a reason for it. He's one of the best corners in the league. Um, so let's. I just it's just one of those feelings thing. I don't really even know how to explain it. There's really no. He's one of the best in the game. That's the reasoning right there. Let's just make it simple. Bronx.
yeah, my defensive pick, coincidentally, and honestly, I know you were a last minute call up, so you definitely did not know what my player to watch on defense was. But mine is also Jalen Johnson. Uh, he
Uno.
has he hasn't been targeted often this year, and for good reason, right? He is one of, if not the best corner right now in the league. I mean, there's very like you look around the league, and a lot of these you could say, oh, this corner has 4 or 5 interceptions already. Well, yeah, he's also been targeted 45 times this season, so he better have some damn interceptions. Like I think Jalen is under 20 targets this year, which is
It's ridiculous.
it's mind blowing. The fear that they have throwing to whatever side of the ball he's on is crazy. But for me, I want to see Jalen trail MHJ wherever the hell he goes all game long. If he's in the slot, I want to see him swap with, if Kyler's playing, swap with Kyler and play that nickel spot. If he's outside, doesn't matter what side, I want to see Jalen. I want to see one lined up opposite MHJ all damn game. Uh, Hopefully that'll deter Kyler just a little bit from throwing to him. But yeah, he's gonna. I hope he makes it difficult for MHJ all game long, and hopefully, like you said, he comes away with an interception. Uh, but yeah, that's my player to watch. I have Keenan Allen, Jalen Johnson. You have Cole hitting dingers, and Jalen as well. But moving on, our score predictions. Look, this Cardinals offense or defense gives up a lot of points. Our Bears defense continues another game where they hold an opponent under 21 points last week. I think they do it again. I have the Bears a resounding 35-20 win.
Yet again, we're not too far off at all. I know I said it last week that the Bears were going to put up some good numbers, and they didn't. But I feel very confident in this one. Like I said, it should be basically a home game for the Bears, as it is in most road away stadiums. Bears travel very well, but Arizona, we're going to have the Bears putting up 31 points, in my opinion. I feel like, again, Cole Kmet's going to have a very nice game. I wouldn't even be surprised. My close runner-up for this pick of player of the game was also Roma Dunze. I feel like he's going to get a couple targets, and I feel, you know, I liked how he played towards the end of the last game. Again, I know I keep saying we're going to get that game out of our head, and I just keep bringing it up, so I apologize for that. But I think the Cardinals are going to score 17, making that a Bears victory. We're going to have Club Dub reopened. 31-17 is my score prediction.
Love it. I love it. That's a big margin of victory for the Bears. I'll take it.
I mean, yeah, I don't get the whole underdog thing. Sure, they're 0-3 on the road, but again, this is basically a home game in my book.
I would agree. There's a lot of transplants for sure. Nobody likes Chicago winters. Let's go enjoy the heat of the desert, I guess.
Speaking of which, Bronx, when you retire, you're going to Arizona, and then I'll be out of college, so I'll visit you as a 40-year-old, 50-year-old man.
Sure.
Go watch some Bears football.
There you go.
And then Caleb Williams III will throw for 400 yards.
There you go. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and comment your score prediction in the comments below. We want to hear from you. If you have any questions, go ahead, ask them in the comments. We'll try and answer them on the next episode. But anyways, in the meantime, in between time, thank you guys so much for listening, tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe, hit that like, and comment anything the hell you want. If you want to comment the score, comment the score. And I want to say, hey, Bronx.
Comment if you've been to vacation in Arizona.
If you're out listening on Spotify, go ahead and hit subscribe there. Once again, thank you. This is episode 20 for Steve, a.k.a. Bronx, and Chris, a.k.a. Dingers. Go Bears.